Hey everybody, it's Boardman21 and today's build by request is going to be the Sorcerer Ice Barrage Lightning Blast build. Basically this will be based around Ice Barrage, which is a new skill that was added recently to the game, but also for single target damage because we can just not get Ice Barrage. It's just not a good single target damage. It is great for additional damage and great for clearing out trash mobs, especially on the run, but for single target it's absolutely horrid. So we teamed it up with the Ice version of Lightning Blast, and together they actually do pretty well. And as I said, this is a per request build. So far, we've gotten to the Monolith of Fate streak of 25 with it, which is pretty good. And it's actually a pretty fun build with Ice Barrage because it's kind of a cast and forget, just like Avalanche on the Shaman or on Primalist in general. And you can cast it in a direction, whether you want it to kill everything in front of you or cast it, in the direction behind you. So as you run and get a train going, it just kills everything. And there was a couple of nodes on it that were really fun, as in the increased fire rate, up to 100% increased fire rate. Um, if you've recently hit rare or bosses, which is actually pretty cool. Once you've hit that 100% firing rate cap, it actually is firing really, really fast, and it doesn't speed up the duration. It still lasts for the same amount of time, so you actually get a lot of damage out of it for a single cast, even though it takes a while for all of that damage to build up. With that, we're also teaming this up with some cold damage over time. We have a lot of frostbite going on. But like I said, for the single target, you're going to want Lightning Blast. It's just too OP of a skill not to have teamed up with this. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the skills. For skills, we're going to be running Flame Ward, Teleport, Focus, Lightning Blast, and Ice Barrage. For Flame Ward, we're using this as a cold damage boost, and for defense, we have 5 points in Star Ward defense, 5 points in barrier, 3 points in dilation, 5 points in infusion, 1 point in fire aura, and 1 point in frost ward, so that this 250% fire damage will now be cold damage. For teleport, we're using this for a bunch of ward generation and a couple of decoys. We have 5 points in Ether Barrier, 3 points in Out of Body, 5 points in Stable Bubble, 1 point in Out of Mind, 4 points in Plasma Protection, 1 point in Decoy Position, and 1 point in Unexpected Copy. For focus, we have 4 points in Desperate Meditation, 4 points in Mana Flooded, 3 points in Energy Battery, 1 point in Energy Infusion, 5 points in Everward, and 3 points in Mind's Shield. For Lightning Blast, like I said, we have this set up for cold conversion. We have 2 points in Volatile Lightning, 1 point in Supercharged Flows. This will now make the lightning damage into cold damage and give it a freeze rate base. After that, it's all about the chaining to one target. We have 4 points in Arcing Power, 3 points in Storm Razor, 3 points in Chain Lightning, 1 point in Convergence, 2 points in Lightning Attunement, and 4 points in Overcharge. And then for Ice Barrage, there is a bunch of different ways to use this, but the thing that we found the most was to get multiple projectiles on every cast. So we went with 3 points in Frigid Barrage and 1 point in Ice Burst for 5 ice shards in a cone right off of the activation, 3 points in Arctic Storm so that you have 120% increased Ice Burst damage, 2 points in Biting Cold, 3 points in Sublimation, which gives you 150% more damage. Your ice shards are bigger, but your firing rate is much slower. With 1 point in Wintry Blast, this now gives you 4 extra projectiles. Your firing rate is much slower. The mana cost is a little bit higher, but every time it goes off, you're going to have 5 projectiles, which is huge. And they come out in a cone shape, which is really nice. We then have 3 points in Eternal Winter for the increased duration, 1 point in Bright Lance. They will no longer home, which is fine since the same ones can't all hit the same target. There's no point in really having them home, otherwise they'll all go for the same target that's closest, and only one of them's actually going to get a hit. But you do get 15% extra damage from this. 1 point in Challenge the Elements, which this is where the fire rate comes up. Every time that you hit a rare enemy, you get 10%, and a boss is 20%, up to a maximum of 100% increased fire rate, which makes it start going really, really fast. and 1 point in Looming Frost for some additional damage up to 5 stacks when you've hit with the ice shards. Now I'm just going to really quickly cast this and show you that you get this huge cone of 5 and they're going off pretty quick. You can imagine with 100% increased fire rate, you're going to get twice as many, which means it's just going to be a non-stop storm of them, which is really cool. And of course on activation, you're actually getting 10 thanks to the ice burst. As you'll see, we have 10 in that first one, which really wipes out the trash mobs right on the activation. Alright, for passives, we have 20 points in the base Mage class with 8 points in Scholar, 8 points in Elementalist, 1 point in Arcanist, and 3 points in Knowledge of Destruction, 0 points in Spellblade, and 83 points in the Sorcerer. We have 8 points in Calculated Destruction, 10 points in Lost Knowledge, 8 points in Mana Shell, 10 points in Wisdom, 8 points in Cryomancer, 4 points in Afterglow, 5 points in Shield of the Bone, 8 points in Arcane Avalanche, 1 point in Crackling Precision, 5 points in Arcane Obliteration, 2 points in Arcane Insight, 5 points in Spell Slinger, 5 points in Archmage, and 4 points in Recollection. And for items, our idols are going to be a bunch of these cold damage if you have over 300 max mana. We also have some frostbite effect, and we have some increased health with frostbite effect increase. And then for the 1x4 on top, we have increased mana and then some ward when hit. For weapon, you're going to want cold damage, spell damage. We went with a lot of freeze rate. That's kind of our CC for defense. You'll also notice we're running a lot of health, and that's so that when we teleport, we're converting a percentage of that into ward. In fact, one teleport here will give you about 500 ward. You team that up with flame ward, and it's pretty good right off the bat. For the chest and helm, we are running chance to apply frostbite on hit with cold skills and damage dealt to mana before health. Those two together will help keep you alive and do some extra damage, and then increased health on everything. We also want to do as many crits as possible just because that's where we get some good damage. So instead of a two-handed staff, we're running the one-handed prophecy wand with the catalyst, which gives us some more spell critical strike chance, some base critical strike chance, some cold damage, and some freeze rate with some more dodge. For the jewelry set, we're running set dodge and set health. On top of that, we have some dodge rating and critical strike avoidance wherever you can put it. And then you want the hybrid health everywhere that you can put it, which would be your gloves, your boots, your belt. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some gameplay.